Hey guys, Metal Jesus here, and I am back again with Troy. How's it going, dude?
All right, thanks for having me back.
Dude, I'm so excited because this is another vinyl pickups video, and today we have, I guess, 10 each, right?
Yep, 10 each.
10 pickups, and this is my dog, Susie here.
Susie's a lover.
She's a rock and roll dog too. So the deal with today is that, like all of our other videos, I don't know what he picked up, and he doesn't know what I picked up.
Yep, we don't tell each other.
Yeah, although I did spill the beans on one little one last time we hung out, but...
Did you? I actually forgot what it was.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. I'll remember when I see it, though.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how much... We did drink that night, right?
We did a little bit.
Part of the reason I might not remember.
All right, well, do you want to go first since you are the guest?
I think that we should once again flip the Metal Jesus Metal Militia coin.
Well, there you go. All right.
So, that is you.
Okay, heads?
Yep.
I guess, okay.
Okay. It's you.
All right, well, I'm going to start off strong because... Ooh. New Judas Priest.
Whoa, yes!
So, new Judas Priest, Firepower, double album. Have you heard this yet?
I haven't heard it.
Oh, dude. So, you know, how do I say this nicely? You know, Priest have, I mean, they've been around for 5 decades.
Right.
And, you know, they've done, I don't know how many albums, probably 18, 20 albums. Mm-hmm. And the last couple have been hit or miss. Mm-hmm. They've had some good songs, but I felt like they were a little long.
Okay.
This is a return to power. This is amazing.
So Rob Halford still has it.
He still has it, and he flaunts it.
I love him.
Yes. So most of the reviewers are saying this is the best Judas Priest album since Painkiller.
And we talked about Painkiller in one of our videos.
Yes, we did, and this is I highly recommend it.
Okay.
I
beautiful packaging, beautiful
Isn't
cover.
it?
Yeah.
I know.
I love it.
It's beautiful. So again, double album. It's 180 gram vinyl. It's just.
I love it.
It's really good, and you know, I would say, is it as good as Painkiller? Boy, I do love that album a lot. So I would say it's damn close.
Okay.
Yeah. So pick this up.
Let's listen to that one when we do B-roll.
We will.
Yes. All right. All right. My turn. All right. I'm coming out of the gate swinging as well.
All right.
All right. I was lucky enough to find the Metal Slug soundtrack.
Oh, dude!
And great soundtrack to this legendary game. And it's on beautiful, this Data Disc, who do...
oh, they do good stuff.
They do great stuff, and it's got beautiful artwork on the inside. Yeah. And the vinyl is this beautiful...
oh, yeah.
Yellow. And so, love Metal Slug.
You are rocking the game soundtracks, man.
I've got a lot of them at this point.
You do?
I do.
See, I look at it as that you're the one that's collecting those because I don't have room in my collection.
Yeah.
So... That way it gives me an excuse to come over and hang out. We can nerd out on game soundtracks.
Exactly.
Very cool. Okay, well this next one's the one I did spoil a little bit, only because when we were hanging out last time I was like, you have to hear it.
Okay.
So, I mentioned John 5.
Oh yes, okay.
John 5. So, this is his live album, John 5 and the Creatures. For those of you that don't know, John 5 is an amazing shredding guitarist. Mm-hmm. He has worked with Marilyn Manson. He currently works with Rob Zombie. Mm-hmm. He's also worked with people like Ozzy, Scorpions, Avril Lavigne.
He has a pretty good resume.
He does. He's kind of one of these guys that they hire to come in and like submit a song or submit a riff, and then they either use it or they don't. Mm-hmm. The cool thing about John 5 is that makes him sort of unique, is that his big love is Kiss and Hee Haw. Okay. Believe it or not. So there's a big bluegrass influence in his playing.
Interesting.
Yeah, so he does a lot of finger picking. He's very precise. And what I love about this live album, this is why I had to play it for you, he does a full cover of Michael Jackson's Beat It. And he performs, on the strings, the entire vocal melody. Then at the end of it, he does a epic rock and roll heavy metal medley. And I think that's what I played for you.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing.
So he covers Van Halen, he covers Ted Nugent, Metallica, just a ton of different mega riffs in there, zombie stuff in there. It's like 16 songs, Rage Against the Machine, all in this big medley. It's really cool.
This is the picture on the back is also amazing.
Yeah, that's his wife right there.
She looks a little bit. I thought it was Amy Winehouse at first.
Oh,
I'm like, why is he in bed with Amy Winehouse with a Siamese cat?
He's a rock and roll guy.
He's a rock and roll guy. That's why.
He's a rock and roll guy.
Yes. Very cool.
So this came on, I believe, green vinyl.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. So
love it.
Very cool.
All right. And I don't know if you're familiar with Hohokam or Hohokam.
I think I played that.
It's a beautiful game. It's very inventive, but the music is beautiful. It's done by some of the best electronic musicians out right now. A lot of artists that we play on Kexp, like Tycho, Matthew Deere, and Shigeto. Like, it's just beautiful electronic music.
The cover is really cool.
Yeah, and such a inventive, creative game, and the music just goes along with it beautifully.
I remember this game, yeah.
And it's one of those video game soundtracks. I mean, I listen to, you know, Metal Slug or Streets of Rage or Shinobi. I'll listen to those, but like this game, and there's a new game out called Celeste. I
listened to that soundtrack based on your recommendation the other day.
It's going to be in my top 10 albums of 2018.
I really liked it too.
Done by a local composer, Lena Rain.
I was impressed.
So it's music that you can listen to, I mean, anytime. Yeah. It's beautiful. I go to sleep listening to Hohokam and Celeste.
Sometimes I like this kind of music if I'm having to work as well. Like if I have to concentrate, if I want something like I'm researching or maybe I'm video editing and I just want something in the background that doesn't, it's not too distracting.
Exactly.
You know, sometimes this kind of music's perfect.
That and the Celeste soundtrack.
Okay.
Perfect for that.
All right, next
What do you have next?
Oh, well, I'm keeping the metal going, dude.
Yes.
Testament.
I love Testament.
Dude, so this album, this is the album that actually got me into Testament back in the 90s. This is when they kind of changed their sound into a more modern Testament sound.
So I stopped at, they had an album called The Ritual.
Yes.
And I haven't heard anything past The Ritual because Souls of Black and The Ritual are the two Testament albums that I've listened to. I know those back and forth.
So I would say that those are classic.
Or front and back, I should say.
That's the classic Testament sound. Then what happened is they released this one in the 90s where they really kind of upgraded. I mean, I don't know technically what they did other than maybe they tuned down. Maybe the vocals were a little bit more guttural. But
they were going for that new metal.
Yeah, without the rap. No rap, you know what I mean?
But tuning down to C.
Yeah.
And like, okay.
But this is an amazing album. I loved it back in the day. They just reissued it on vinyl, and it comes on an orangey,
love it.
You know, which kind of matches the cover a little bit.
No, it's great.
Just when I saw the reissue, I had to have it. It's just one of my favorites of the 90s.
I love Testament. People would claim that they were a Metallica ripoff, and of course there's similarities, but the thing is that it's just, I don't care if anyone sounds like anyone as long as it's good. And Testament is just,
over time, actually, I think Testament's really gotten better because they took this album and they did The Gathering next. I think that was the next one, and they've just kind of progressed and became their own band.
And they're still, I mean, they're still playing and they're still putting out records, and that's what's great.
Oh yeah,
there's something to say about that.
Yeah, I mean, a band that lasts. A band that makes an impact and
exactly.
Yeah, and so they're one of those bands where I try to get their vinyl when I can.
Yeah, it's a testament to their longevity.
Oh,
I have this up next. Okay. Recently, just got this. One of my favorite movies of all time. Horror movies of all time.
Oh, were we talking about this earlier?
No.
Okay.
But I have the Friday the 13th, the final chapter soundtrack, but check that cover out.
Dude, that's beautiful.
And I love the Friday the 13th series.
Yes.
I mean, even when it got real bad, still entertaining.
In space.
Yeah, in space, in Manhattan. But this was the final chapter, and to me, it's a fitting name because those first four movies, to me, are the classic Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
And then the next one was just a new beginning, and it just wasn't the same.
Yeah.
And you find out it wasn't even Jason at the end of that movie, you know? So this is, to me, the final chapter is, in my opinion, the best Friday the 13th movie.
That cover, dude.
And the soundtrack is actually pretty terrifying.
Yeah.
I listened to it, and I didn't remember all the music.
Sure.
And I put it on. I was by myself at home. This is just a few minutes ago. I got creeped out. It's scary, but the
wow, that's cool too.
Beautiful.
Look at that. Yeah. Huh. You know what I noticed on the back there too? It was mixed in Tacoma, Washington, which is very close to where we live. Look at that.
Someone with my last name.
James Nelson at Digital Outland, Tacoma, Washington.
Wow, thanks. James
All right,
Nelson.
local boy. That's
local
cool.
boy. All right, well, there you have.
Yep, that's a good one. Okay, next up for me is 2 albums, same band.
2 albums, same band.
You know, do you ever look to your collection going, like it's one of your favorite bands of an era, and you're like, oh, I've got all their stuff, and you're like, oh, I'm missing some albums.
Oh yeah.
So I went on a little bit of a buying spree for classic Rat.
Oh, I love Rat. That's great.
Yeah, Rat is one of those bands from the 80s where, kind of like Dawkins, where I go back to. Like if I want to listen to some 80s metal, hair metal.
I listen to Out of the Cellar all the time.
Yeah. And this is a really good album. This is Invasion of Your Privacy. Just, you know, You're in Love, Lay It Down. It has, you know, it's classic stuff. This is the last good Rat album, and good I want to put in quotes here because it's not that good, but it's what was the name of this album? Reach for the Sky. It has one really good song in here called Way Cool Jr.
Oh, I remember Way Cool Jr.
Great Rat song.
That was like what, 92?
88.
Oh.
Believe it or not. I know, but it feels like early 90s, doesn't it?
It does feel like that to me.
Yeah.
But I remember Way Cool Jr. I remember watching that video.
Yeah, it's a cool video. So these are just kind of albums that I need in my collection. Thankfully, they're not expensive because nobody cares.
Do you have
anymore.
the first Rat EP?
I do.
That to me is like one of the best.
Yeah, and actually, I'm missing Out of the Cellar, which I think they kind of took some of the songs from the EP. And
I think you re-recorded them. Maybe.
Yeah, something like that. So I need to get that one. But
very cool.
Rat.
Love Rat. All right, so what number are we on? Is this my fourth? I think this is my fourth.
Could be.
Okay, my fourth is actually a series of sort of a bunch of records.
Okay.
I'll explain. So, 1, 2, okay, so these, I don't have, well, they're still releasing them. This is an interesting story. So there is a label called Turntable Kitchen, and they have a subscription series called Sounds Delicious. And what they did was they got 12 different artists, and there's going to be once a month they're going to release these. They got 12 different artists to cover entire records, not just songs, an entire album of a band, start to finish.
Really?
So in other words, so Frankie Rose, Frankie Rose used to be in that band called the Dum Dum Girls, and was well, she's just one of my favorite artists. She covered the entire 17 Seconds album by The Cure, and it's start to finish.
Classic
like every
Cure.
song. Yeah, classic Cure. And they're all beautifully packaged. They're all limited edition, colored vinyl. And it's just amazing. They got Ben Gibbard from Death Cab for Cutie to cover Teenage Fan Club's Bandwagon-esque record. They got this band called Unizuma to do Oasis, What's the Story, Morning Glory. John from I think his name's Jonathan, from the band Foxygen, covers the entire Bruce Springsteen Born to Run album.
Really?
And they're just coming out one by one.
Oh, that's
and they're extremely limited.
Is it a subscription, you said?
It's a subscription series. It's called Sounds Delicious, and it's just such a cool idea. It's got their own artwork.
Yeah.
And all the vinyl is just really beautiful. And I've listened to all these, of course, and a few others that are coming down the pipeline. It's all really good.
Wow,
that Oasis album, it's kind of like minimal, electronic, ethereal, really reverby. It's beautiful. It's like a whole different take on the record. Almost makes you reappreciate the original songs.
The original, yeah. It's funny, I bought the Oasis album when it came out. It was kind of the thing. And I like parts of it, but it's an album that didn't stick with me for whatever reason. I don't know if it was overplayed or what. But it would be interesting to go back and hear a new take on it.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool.
It made me reappreciate their melodies and songwriting. So,
yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
All right, next up for me is a doom stoner rock band, Fireball Ministry.
That's a great name.
Yeah, it's a great name. You know, they're doom metal, and doom metal is often described as a band that's modern, but a lot of their roots are in like classic Black Sabbath.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Slower riffs.
Sure.
Taking your time. The dude on here actually sounds like Ozzy, which is kind of like, when you listen to it, it kind of screws with your brain a little bit. Really good album here. The thing I like about these guys is that they can write a good riff and a good melody. And they have a song in here called The Answer that the moment you hear it, like you're like, that's a hit. And like, that is that, you know, you want to own that song or that album when you first hear it. So, just a small little album that, you know, I dig it though.
I'll have to play it. If I see any description that says stoner doom metal, I'm interested.
Yeah.
I'm totally interested. I'm not like a huge stoner or anything, but I love what's considered stoner metal.
Yeah, me too.
I usually just love whatever band that is.
Well, so. I like the full gamut. I mean, sometimes you want to rock, sometimes you want to have something fast and furious.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just want to just put it on, chill out for a while, and yeah.
This band photo. This is awesome.
Yeah. They look like the real deal, don't they?
They are. They
might have like a grow house in their backyard.
If you look up stoner metal in the dictionary, then this picture actually pops up. Beautiful white vinyl too.
Yes, yep. Limited 50 copies, I believe.
Oh wow. 50?
I'm sorry, 500.
Oh, okay.
Whatever.
I was like, this is pretty limited.
Yeah. No, I'm just making stuff up. I have no idea.
It's already worth $300
yeah.
on Discogs. Okay. What do I got? Oh, yes. Speaking of heavy bands, one of my new favorite heavy bands is this band called Mets. Hence the shirt I'm wearing.
Oh, okay.
This is a Mets shirt, record. I'm all about Mets.
Wow, this Sub Pop. Okay,
so it's a Sub Pop release, yes.
Cool.
And this is the first Mets record. They have 3 albums out, all fantastic. It's amazing how much noise they make in their band. It is, it's heavy, but I wouldn't call it metal, but it's definitely not rock.
You know what when I saw this, it reminded me of those early Fudge Tunnel albums.
Oh yeah,
Did you ever see those?
Yep.
Where it just looks like it's kind of punk rock a little bit, you know, but it's metal, it's heavy, right?
Exactly.
Huh. Or Tad.
They're amazing. Exactly. And they just, Sub Pop's also celebrating their 30th anniversary. That's why I wanted to show it.
Oh, cool.
On August 11th, down on Alki Beach, they're throwing a party, and we should definitely go.
Oh. For those of you that don't know, Sub Pop is a legendary Seattle record label. They were the first record label to release Nirvana. As a matter of fact, even if you go today and you buy Nirvana's very first album, which is called Bleach, it will be on Sub Pop, which is pretty cool.
That's right. Yeah. And they're continuing to just absolutely put out amazing music. 30 years of just great bands. And they do albums like this, and then they'll do albums like the Father John Misty. I brought his album for one of our pickups one time. And they just do everything. Shabazz Palaces, great sort of spaced out hip hop. I mean, they're still thriving. And actually, I'm going to be live on air during that party as well. So
it's down in Alki, huh?
Yeah, you just come on down and hang out.
We'll have to do that.
And we'll have to, you know, drink beers. Yeah. Like we're doing now.
Wow, that's hard to do. I don't know.
Let's do this, but there. Okay.
That would be awesome.
All right, what you got next?
All right, next up is the latest album from one of my favorite artists. That is Mr. Joe Satriani.
Oh, new album?
Brand new.
Oh, brand new.
Yeah, brand new. Came out as of the making of this video, like maybe like a month ago.
He just doesn't stop either.
I know.
He just keeps going.
He just keeps going. Joe Satriani is an instrumental guitarist. He's world famous for blues, hard rock, and it's all instrumental. This is a really cool album because it's a little bit different than normal. Normally, it's mostly Joe. However, for this one, he got Chad Smith of the Chili Peppers to play drums, and he got Glenn Hughes of Deep Purple to play bass.
That's cool.
And so it's the 3 of them. It's a trio doing all the music.
Wow. Yeah,
so pretty cool. It's a two record set. I believe it's white vinyl. No, is it black?
I think it is. It is black.
Okay.
Yep.
Solid rock and roll instrumental. I buy everything that he puts out. I love it.
Well, he's a phenomenal talent.
Yes, yeah. Been around forever. He is the guitar teacher for Kirk Hammett of Metallica.
He taught him?
Yeah, he taught him. He also taught Steve Vai how to play guitar. He was a guitar teacher.
Kirk Hammett how to play guitar. I owe so much to this person.
Yeah, I know. And a bunch of other guitarists at the time in the Bay Area.
Joe Satriani. I call him the Satch.
Yeah.
Is that what he's called?
Yeah.
Oh, I just, like when I was a kid, I would just say that in my mind. And that's just what he...
It's like you knew.
It's like I knew.
It's like you knew.
All right, I guess my turn.
Yep.
All right, so... Okay, so I have to preface this one with a little bit of a backstory because it's kind of odd.
Story time.
And also, in no way am I promoting myself because I don't make any money off of this, but a local brewery, Scuttlebutt Brewing, came to KEXP and said, hey, we want to do a project with you. What if we had somebody write a song, a little jingle about beer and about KEXP, and we will press it onto vinyl, but the vinyl is going to be coasters like you have here.
Oh, really?
But you can play it on your record player. And so they approached me, and my friend Michael Lee and I, we wrote a jingle for Scuttlebutt Brewing and KEXP, and they pressed it on a coaster vinyl. And this is my gift to you because they're very limited.
So KEXP is a local Seattle radio station that Troy is a DJ on. One of the best radio stations, certainly in Seattle and possibly most of the U.S. Wow, dude, that's really, really cool.
Yeah, and it was, I didn't believe it was going to happen, but, so my friend Michael Lee and I, we started writing this jingle.
So you wrote this?
Yeah, it's like a minute and a half.
Be a good listener and drink the beer that power... Oh, okay, so the song is called Be a Good Listener.
I don't know what the... You know what? I didn't even name the song. Actually, I think it's just called the Kexp Transistor IPA song.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so my also coworker and friend Owen Murphy really spearheaded this thing. Huh. And so we wrote it, we went in and recorded it. And then I walked away going, that's probably never going to happen. You know those things in life that like, hey, you write a song, we'll press it on vinyl, it'll be coasters. And so they're going to send them to local bars. It's a ton of
work. So you know that people say stuff, and then it's like actually completing that project.
Yeah. And then you put this on your record player.
I will.
You plop it down, and you will hear the beer song.
I will play the beer song while drinking beer.
Exactly. So all of a sudden we're writing jingles, and so my friend Michael Lee and I were like, hey, let's do that for other companies. So we started a songwriting partnership, and we're going to start writing like jingles for things. We're even making video game music, and
really,
yeah, we're just going to put our forces together and do that. So it was a really fun thing, and I thought we're doing vinyl pickups. This happened.
This is vinyl. That's
exactly,
cool, dude.
and that's yours.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I want to put my album on a vinyl, like a little vinyl coaster like that.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't want people to put their beer on it and ruin it though. I worked too hard.
Yeah, I know, right?
All right, another classic album I have been looking for a long time. Aziz, No More Tears. So
one of my favorite singers of all time.
One of my favorite Ozzy albums as well. This is the last really good Ozzy album, in my opinion. This was really hard to find. Actually, this was sent to me by a fan over in Europe, because the weird thing that happened during the transition between the 80s and 90s is that vinyl record pressing in the US really dropped off.
Yeah.
And so I don't think I ever saw this. I mean, maybe it came out in the U.S., but it wasn't.
I mean, it definitely came out at the height of CDs. So
yeah. And so I guess actually vinyl was pressed a little bit longer in Europe. So this was pretty easy to find in Europe. It's still kind of an expensive album, though.
Sure.
So it was sent to me by a fan. I greatly appreciate that you did that, because I want to get all the Ozzy albums, and this was the last one that I really wanted from that classic era.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, No More Tears, the song, is just so amazing. Mom, I'm Coming Home.
Mr. Tinker Train, Desire. I mean, even the B-sides on this album are really good. Sin, Hellraiser, which I think is a Motorhead Lemmy song.
Oh, okay.
Zombie Stomp is on here. It's just a ton of
Was Zakk Wylde the guitar player on that record?
Yeah, and that's why. So it was full-on Zakk Wylde in their, writing heyday.
Yeah,
so
in their prime.
Yes, love this album.
Love it. All right, what do I got next? Okay, so obviously we all know this record, but I wanted to bring it to talk about how controversial this cover was.
Yes, I have that one as well.
When it came out, because most copies are blacked out because this was so controversial and so satanic.
Poison, open up and say ah.
That parents just hated this cover.
Isn't that funny now?
Yeah.
How can you have a problem with this, but yet Kiss, on almost every single album cover, had Gene Simmons' stupid tongue? Yet you got a problem with this.
I mean,
actually, they had a problem with the album after this one as well. Do you remember Flesh and Blood? It had a fresh tattoo with blood dripping on it. And the versions of that album came out without the blood. They had to Photoshop that off,
Goodness gracious. Well,
Poison, so controversial. Who knew?
So here's the interesting thing. Now, do you know the other myth about this album cover? And this is why I brought this. Is because the other myth, and when I was growing up, this was so spooky and scary. But if you flip it upside down and cover the tongue and the nose, people would claim that you could see the face, a bearded face of Satan, and that's like the eyes. You can even see the nose, and this is all beard. So there's the eyes, there's the nose. And then if you cover it up right, that's like a horn on his head.
Yeah.
And it was like, that's Satan.
Dude, that reminds me of those crazy religious people in the 80s. I had some grandparents like that, where they gave me this comic book to tell me how evil rock and roll music was.
Oh, yeah.
And in there, they were talking about backmasking and playing Stairway to Heaven backwards.
Yeah. Meatloaf had a backward message.
Queen and another one, Bites of Dust, supposedly was...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know what? If you look hard enough in this stuff, you can see whatever you want to see. It's dumb. These guys, Poison are a dumb, LA hair metal band.
Yep.
You know, all they want to do is get laid. That's all that they care about.
Yeah, and make simple 3-chord rock and roll. But yeah, that... I don't know. I'm convinced that might be saying no. Yeah, all of a sudden
that's pretty funny. But that is a good 80s hair metal album, though.
It is. It's great.
Yeah. All right. Next up is another newish band called Havoc.
I've never heard Havoc, but I've heard the name.
This is a newer band from Denver, Colorado.
Oh, cool.
This is considered kind of like American thrash metal, very similar in the style of Megadeth, Exodus, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it's
very precise, very fast.
It's right up my alley.
This is a very political album. You know, the lyrics are very anti-establishment, anti-government, that sort of stuff. And what's really cool about this album too, it's a fantastic recording, and their bass player is very funky. A lot of people have kind of claimed this would be if Les Claypool of Primus joined a thrash band.
Ooh.
Now that's probably extending a little bit. I mean, there's definitely a lot of slap bass in this.
Sure.
But yeah, it's really cool, really great stuff.
Okay. I need to hear this.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's cool. I love that thrash metal is still alive.
Yeah, alive.
I love this cover. Their band name broke out of jail out of their skull.
They couldn't contain it.
It one bit.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen this album cover or know of this artist?
No. Oh, wait.
No, it's not Goblin, the 1970s.
Okay, I was going to say, is this Dio?
No. This is one of my favorite current hip-hop artists, and his name's Tyler, the Creator. Okay. Have you heard that name?
Yes. Okay,
Tyler, the Creator, to me, is making some of the most exciting hip-hop. I think he's brilliant. This is an earlier record, but when I first heard this album, it is so dark and so spooky. The song Yonkers itself is one of the most amazing dark hip-hop songs. And it's just, I think he's a brilliant artist.
Really?
He produces everything himself. He started a collective called Odd Future that just took off. People that came from it that have got really, like Frank Ocean and like some other people have gotten really popular. But Tyler, the Creator, he just did everything himself. And he has a clothing line that's super popular. He's very young still. I mean, he was making great records when he was 18. And he's only in his early 20s right now. And he just put out an album called Flower Boy that it's like a masterpiece. So I'm a huge Tyler, the Creator fan. And the song in particular that I would love for you to hear is Yonkers. And the video. The video is just, I mean, it's when I first saw it, I thought it's like watching a horror movie. He can get really dark. Okay. He can be really goofy and fun too. Right. But when he goes dark, he goes dark.
All right.
And it's just he's brilliant.
I'll try anything, man. That sounds cool.
Yeah. So there you go. I wanted to introduce you to Tyler, the Creator.
Okay. Very cool. Goblin.
Yes.
All right, next up is another new metal album. Came out just about a month ago, and that is Corrosion of Conformity.
Oh, what?
No Cross, No Crown. Brand new.
Still together.
Still together. Actually, they just recently reformed. I forget what band member had temporarily gone on tour with Down. And then they came back and made this album. This is classic Corrosion of Conformity.
The last I heard of Corrosion of Conformity was a song called Vote with a Bullet.
Oh, dude. Well, that's a great song.
Yeah, a
but
great
that's
video.
like late 80s, early 90s.
Early 90s, yeah.
Yeah, and for me, honestly, I don't follow them closely. I was really big into them in the 90s. They had, I think, the album Deliverance.
Yep.
And then right after that, they had Wise Blood.
I didn't hear that one.
And then after that, I kind of drifted away. But this is a return to form of classic, like slow, heavy Corrosion of Conformity.
Cool.
It even has like little interludes in between songs where they kind of get all pretty and, you know, kind of like you know, tricks you into a false sense of security. Then they come out and then they just crush you with a hammer. It's awesome.
I love that they're still making music.
I know.
I had no idea.
You know, dude, I was thinking the other day that metal is it's not back because it never really went away, but it's got a resurgence going on. Like it's full on. Like good stuff.
Yeah. And this purple vinyl.
Purple vinyl.
Love it. This is
Double
great.
album.
I'm really glad that they are still...
Yeah, you should, if you like Corrosion of Conformity, you're looking for something new and different from a classic band, definitely check it out.
Wow. All right. Thank you for introducing me to so many artists I grew up listening to that I thought were done.
Yeah.
And here they're still putting out
I know.
great records. Okay. Are we down to the last?
I have my last one.
Oh, okay. I don't even know how to even explain this, so I'm just going to bust it out. Oh. So this is a 7-inch from a band called Hate Beak.
At first I was like, that's Judas Priest.
Right. It's very priesty.
Yeah.
Obviously a play on.
Right.
And Hate Beak.
Hate Beak.
The reason I know about this band is that in the, I'm going to say late 90s, early 2000s, there were, there was a prank phone call artist, and I call him an artist because he wasn't like the Jerky Boys.
Okay.
This guy he's the Pink Floyd of prank phone calls.
What does that mean?
He uses delay pedals and distortion and just messes with people. He's a genius. Anyway, his name is Longmont Potion Castle. And Longmont Potion Castle, these tapes would get traded. He's from somewhere in Colorado. Well, there's a Longmont, Colorado, so that's obviously where I guess where he was from. I don't know if he still lives there, but around the Denver area, these tapes would get traded of him making these phone calls, and there's an underground community who just love this guy. I'm in the last 7 or 8 years. If you search out Longmont Potion Castle and listen to his prank phone calls, they are, I mean, I'm in tears. They're brilliant.
Really?
Yeah, there's one where he calls Blockbuster when Blockbuster was around.
Yeah.
And they answer like, Blockbuster, and he's like, oh, I'm sorry, can you hold a minute? And they're like, yeah, and he puts him on hold, and then he calls another Blockbuster, and then opens the 2 lines and lets them figure it out. And they're like, Blockbuster, they're like, yeah, this is Blockbuster. They're like, you called me, and Blockbuster's like, no, you called me. And then he lets them argue while you just listen to it. Anyway, this is a band he was in called Hate Beak. And here's what's interesting about Hate Beak, and something I thought you would find extremely interesting. It's a metal record, but the singer is a parrot. Waldo the parrot is the singer of this metal band.
Oh my god, this is a crazy story. Vocals were performed by a parrot through the use of a studio.
Mm-hmm. So a parrot is the singer of this band.
Oh, we are so listening to this. Oh, this is awesome.
I don't know.
Reptilian Records.
Whatever that is.
That is crazy, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well
It's sheer metal, and it's totally a parrot.
Wow, okay, I'm impressed. We are going to rock that later. That is awesome. All right, and then my last one is not metal, not rock, not anything else that I've shown before.
Okay. I think I have one more. I don't think I've gotten to 10 yet, have I?
I don't know.
Well, all right, bust out what you got, because obviously whatever you have, this looks awesome and big.
Epic. Okay. This was sent to me by a fan. Actually, I have his name in here.
Whoa.
Dirk, actually.
This is...
I'm going to hide that because it has his address on it. So, Jean-Michel Girard. Do you know who that is?
I know the name.
You know that.
I don't know a lot about.
Jean-Michel Girard, I hope I'm pronouncing that correct. He was a pioneer of electronic music in the 70s.
Sure.
He made one of the most popular electronic albums of all time called Oxygen.
Yeah.
There's actually a trilogy. You know, one of these guys who was able to make music out of pure electronic music in the 70s, and he did it so well because he included melody, rhythm, all this sort of stuff.
Okay.
And then what this is the Electronica Project. This is volume 1.
Wow.
This is the version that you would get, I believe, through his fan club.
Wow. And they only made 1,000.
Yeah, and so this was sent to me by a very cool fan. I believe it's the same guy who sent me the Ozzy one. Posters, booklets, posters, you know, it's a love letter to this album here. Behind the scenes cards, maybe that's his thumbprint so you can unlock his iPhone.
Yeah, there you go.
But 2 albums, it's got some other booklets in here. What's cool about this though is that he wrote this album with other people in it, I think for the first time.
Okay.
So for instance, there's a bunch of electronic artists on here, and I don't... Oh, actually,
a USB drive?
Yeah, and the CD version.
This is awesome.
I wish I would have wrote down everyone that he collaborated with, but it's a bunch of people, like weird people, like John Carpenter.
Oh yeah,
the director.
John Carpenter makes great electronic music.
Great electronic music. Pete Townsend is on here. What is it? M83.
I love M83.
Yeah, a bunch of people like that. So it's a different person on every song that he's writing with, and so this this album goes all over the place. And I'm a big fan of Daft Punk, and so there's definitely elements of Daft Punk in here.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's really
I need
cool.
to get more familiar. I mean, it almost sounds like, because there was another 70s pioneer of electronic music, Giorgio Moroder.
Yes, of course.
And so he sounds like he's of that same caliber.
Very much so.
Okay.
Although I think he kind of leaned more towards dance and disco type stuff, but I could be wrong. I'm not an expert in that sort of stuff.
Right.
One of the things I will say, though, this is one of the cleanest, clearest albums I've ever heard on my stereo.
Oh.
I was playing this on there, like, it's amazing. Like, the recording of this and the pressing of this vinyl shocked me. It's so dynamic. I was just listening to it on my stereo going, oh my god, this is like, it's like an album I could put on to impress people, like what analog sounds like. It's killer.
Okay. That, I want to hear that too then.
Yeah, we'll have to play this, so.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about a gift.
I know. I was like, what? And I had no idea it was coming either. He's like, yeah, I got some presents for you. I'm like, okay. And what actually kind of surprised me is he had no indication that I would even like this, because I'm a metal guy, right?
Right.
But I do really appreciate good music of all genres, even though I primarily collect metal and hard rock. But this was like, ooh, neat, you know.
Love it.
Yep.
That is so cool. I mean, that's a great way to end it.
But do you have one more?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that is right. Yeah, you started.
Oh yeah,
I think that's right.
You're right.
Yeah. Math, something I don't know a lot about.
Math?
Math.
Okay.
Trying to figure out.
Oh. I thought this was a build into the band.
Yeah, and here's math. Yeah. No, not math. I found this at a record store a long time ago, so it's not a new pickup, I've got to admit, but I saw it in my collection and I had to share it because it's so odd, but yet still pretty cool.
Huh.
So, it is a Kellogg's Frosted Flakes, Cornflakes, Froot Loops Jackson 5 record.
Whoa!
Yeah, and it was a promotional use
what
only
song
kind
is
of
it?
thing.
Is it
so,
does it?
I mean, it's.
You know what? Okay, but the reason I'm asking because
Yeah.
that album has one song on it that I absolutely love. It's called.
Well, look at the record. That's why I was like super stoked about it, because the picture disc is amazing.
Dude, this
the
is
artwork
cool.
on both sides.
Yeah,
just amazing. So I was happy to find it because I mean, of course, I love the Jacksons, and
you love cereal,
and I love cereal. It was a match made in heaven. I had to buy it though. It's just so odd. It looks like something. It looks like a commercial.
You know what? This almost looks like it was designed for stores, because look at the back here. They're talking about coupons, point of sale, danglers.
Yeah, and stickers that you can find in the cereal box.
So maybe you would play this in the store?
I picked it up because I was like, this has to be rare, I would think. I haven't done any research on it yet, though. Even though I've had it for a while, I haven't looked at Discogs or eBay or anything like that.
It's in great shape.
Yeah, I just had to get it because it's so bizarre to me.
Wow, I'd be curious to hear. Back when Michael Jackson was, the thing, and this album came out of nowhere, it was kind of weird that it was almost like it's contractual that they made this album with the family.
That's right, because it came out like after he was famous on his own.
Yes, but Michael Jackson wasn't in any of the videos. It was like a likeness of him. It was a really weird situation at this time where it was almost like the family was trying to like cash in on his fame.
Yeah.
In a really weird way. It was like very forced.
I'm just gonna say I think he had kind of a strange life.
Yeah, and his dad was notoriously overbearing when it came to their careers. Right. I mean, both probably to their detriment and also to their benefit.
Absolutely. I don't think you can be any more famous than Michael Jackson was or is. It's about as famous as one can get, and you can only imagine what that does. Yeah,
it's amazing too that not only Michael Jackson, but Janet Jackson too. For sure, amazing career that she had.
Yeah, I love her.
Huh?
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool, dude.
Yeah, I thought you'd find that interesting.
I do. I dig that. That's awesome.
All right, we did it again.
I know. Yes. I know. So much great music. So, where can people find you on the internet?
Oh, I guess. Well, you could listen to my shows on KEXP on Saturdays from 3 to 6, or on Mondays from 2 to 6 at KEXP.org. I'm on the Twitters. You can find me under The Troy Nelson. At The Troy Nelson.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you can even go to that website, KXP, and occasionally he will even play the request.
Yeah, your wife requests William Shatner's version of Common People.
She does.
And I will play it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is, it's funny, I don't know if I told you this, but the first time that you shouted out Rebecca and Metal Jesus on the radio, one of Rebecca's clients heard it, and then in their car, and they're like, how did like, it's blowing their mind.
I love that our worlds have crossed.
I know, it's so funny.
Yeah.
And Rebecca's like, yeah, you know, we know Troy. You know Troy. Oh my God. Yeah, it's so funny, dude.
Rebecca is the sweetest. She's so great. And yes, you can request songs, and yes.
Would you play like metal?
I do sometimes, yeah. It's interesting. Like, daytime is a little different. Nighttime, we have a metal show.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's called Seek and Destroy. So we have a metal show dedicated to metal, but yeah, I sneak it in here and there. I know that John Richards plays Anesthesia Pulling Teeth by Metallica quite a bit.
He played Killing in the Name Of from Rage Against the Machine one morning. I was like, oh, yeah. But then he followed it up with something like Brilliant, which was like The Cure or something. I was like, oh my God, this is, like, it doesn't sound like it'd go, but it did. It was really cool.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, we play all different genres on there, but yes, I sneak in the metal. I can't find a way to sneak in Tool yet, but I'm gonna find a way. Because I personally, one of my favorite bands of all time is Tool.
Dude, you know what? It'd have to be a math specific, like some sort of like math related, because they're all about weird time signatures, you know, or like you'd have
you go.
Yeah, like a weird time signature.
Like, here's an example. Yeah, but really, it's just my excuse to play Tool.
To play some Tool.
Exactly. Good idea.
Dude, new Tool album this year. That's what they're saying.
You think?
I hope so.
I'm not gonna get my hopes up until all right, we'll see.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Take care. Good times with my buddy Troy Nelson, as always. Now, you guys know I typically don't ask for likes, but these music videos that I make with him typically don't get a lot of views, but I love doing them anyways, and so if you could help promote them by giving them a like or giving them a share on social media, I would greatly appreciate it. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.